Hello, everyone, and welcome to another jam-packed edition of the OverMark Podcast. I'm Dave, and ladies and gentlemen, my partner in crime tonight, as always, is a man of many talents. He's the man who thinks corn belongs in the Library of Congress and that Limp Bizkit should headline the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's knee-deep in Chrono Cross like it's 1999 all over again. And just like the band Stained, he can't believe the state of this week's wrestling shows. He's sharp, he's stubborn, and he's the walking blockbuster shelf of the 90s. Give it up for my friend and yours, TJ.
Well, what's going on there, guys? Thanks, Dave. That's another solid one. You don't get that at work in the morning.
Well, you know, I meant to come in with so we'll hit it now. Yeah. Everybody loves TJ. Oh, yeah.
Almost everybody. But anyways, that was a good one.
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about today?
Well, today we're going to be talking about SmackDown from 9/12/25, September, for those that don't know what 9 means, and Collision from September 13th, 2025. We got the news. We're going to do This Day in Wrestling History, and we got how to watch WWE Wrestlepalooza, you know, just in case some folks don't know, you know, you won't want to miss this.
Absolutely.
So follow us, you know, as usual. Hit us on all of our socials at OverMark ENT. Thank you guys for tuning in, as always. And we're going to jump right into it. TJ, you want to do SmackDown or you want to do Collision?
Nah, I'll be the bad guy and let you do the Collision. Like I have been. I've been strategically planning it that way. You know,
so that people can hate me and think that I live with my mom. I gotcha.
I'm just kidding. But
well, I think this episode's going to counter some of that people thinking that we only like one product over the other, but we'll see when we get there. Who knows? Spoiler alert, maybe.
So we're going to be talking about WWE SmackDown that happened September 12th, 2025. They didn't do a memorial or whatever, like honoring this year, did they? Did you notice the day after the 11th?
Right. No, yeah, I didn't notice that on the show, but objectively, I wasn't really paying attention at the beginning until actual people started coming towards the ring.
Okay. Well, hopefully they did, because that you know, they were like the first people to show up on TV after. You remember that whole big deal?
Oh yeah, it was a huge deal.
Yeah. So they had an attendance at 8,700 at the Norfolk, Virginia, at Scope Arena. So we're going to jump into these quick match results here. And we jump right into it with Brock Lesnar blasting R-Truth with an F5 en route to his match against John Cena at Wrestlepalooza. I don't know. It didn't quite capture the feeling of their, you know, the one that they did a couple years ago or whenever with Brock and Truth. Sorry, but yeah, overall it was still funny.
That was it. Entertaining. Brock ripped his pants. That was funny.
Yeah, and he kept bringing it up.
I can't remember what he said to Stu. I ripped my effing pants, Stu, or something. You know, the camera guy, Stu.
Yeah.
I ripped my effing pants, Stu. I'm paraphrasing, but that's like 99% of the vernacular there, I think.
You could tell he felt like instantly right away after it happened. He like reached down to it, he ripped it. You know, I told a story the other day where I also had a kind of in a fight type situation, and afterwards I realized that I ripped my pants too. Yeah, it does. Well, we're going to jump into the next one here with Sami Zayn defeating Rey Fenix in a United States title open challenge. And this was a good match. You know, it wasn't too crazy considering who was involved, but a good TV match, I guess.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. And I think at some point here in the near future, bigger things are coming for Rey Fenix.
Yeah, Sami Zayn as well. And then Julia versus B-Fab ended in a no contest. I think a no contest is my opinion on this.
Yeah, I mean, I love Julia, but man, they got to, you know, I would never advocate for people to lose their job, but they need to find BFAB something else to do other than be in the ring. Because
Yeah, I agree. Well, something else that we're going to talk about is Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill, and it ended in a double countout. It's probably Cargill's best match she's ever had, but that's not saying a lot.
yeah, we were watching it and we were commenting about how, you know, that Tiffany really pulled a good match out of her. She carried the match pretty hard.
For sure.
And Brandon was like, "Oh man, this is like Jade Cargill's best match." I'm like, "Yeah, it's a testament to how good Tiffany is because she's carrying this right now." And then there was that scary spot where she hit her head on the outside. They actually pulled her from NXT.
Did they?
She was supposed to be in a trios match.
Yeah.
Her and Rhea Ripley teamed up with Stephanie Vakir versus some trio of girls from NXT that are
I saw them show
running
up,
shop on people. Yeah.
but all they did was show up.
And then they pulled her and they replaced her with Lyra Valkyria. Not that people care about NXT. They're not listening for us to talk about that.
No. Well, then we were going to talk about Drew McIntyre defeating Randy Orton. What is Randy Orton the guy that people beat when they want to further the feud?
I guess. Or Randy Orton, he's become kind of the gatekeeper for the upper mid card.
I'd rather see Randy than Drew.
Yeah. I don't hate Drew. He's better than he used to be.
He's not better than Randy.
No.
But following McIntyre's win, the undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes emerged. What did he do? He re-emerged to attack the Scottish psychopath and challenge him to a title match at Wrestlepalooza. I mean, what you would expect. We're fans of Cody, so I didn't hate this. Just setting up the next thing. Back. He's a workhorse.
No build.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it seems like a lot of companies are doing that, and that might reflect in our rating down here. So, my high point was Cody attacking Drew. I don't think this was a great episode by any means.
Me was the opening segment with Truth and Brock, and then his pants ripping. Yeah, it's pretty funny to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Big old Brock Lesnar, and he's yelling blue underwear.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if these people involved in this match had blue underwear, and it was Julia versus B-Fab, and that was my low point. It was just junk.
That was also my low point. It's sorry, Julia. Everybody knows that I got much love for Julia, but man, B-Fab had a way of just making this segment not great.
Excuse me. Yeah, and I gave this a 2, and you did as well. And I'm going to talk about why I did a little bit, and then we'll move on. But there's this, like, they're talking about they want Wrestlepalooza to be like their next WrestleMania. Well, you need to build for it, and you can put all these names in these big matches, but the build has to match, the quality of the people involved, and I just don't feel like that's been done very well here, and I'm not really looking forward to WrestlePalooza beyond a couple matches that they have built well, and just a whole lot of stuff tossed together to try to have a good card and get you to pay that $30.
Yeah. It was a 2 for me. This episode just felt like a chore to watch. It just, yeah. I do feel like probably almost all the matches on Wrestlepalooza will be good matches, though.
Yeah. Look who's involved in a lot of them. Some of the best talent in the industry, but, it's just when I'm watching the show and I just don't feel compelled by what I'm watching, that's going to reflect in what I think about your show. Well, now it's time for you to have some fun.
Well, indeed. We have my favorite and yours, AEW Collision from September 13th, 2025. Coming back strong with the sellout attendance of 916 at the 2300 ECW Arena in Philadelphia. And we had the AEW Unified Championship Tournament, the Alpha Takeshita defeating Anthony Bowens. And, Anthony Bowens is just, not doing great since they broke up the Acclaimed. I know we say that every week, it feels like, but just him and Max Caster both just floundering. You went from being one of the most popular tag team in the industry to lower mid card. Both of you are, losing.
Yeah, I'm a big Takeshita fan, and
Yeah.
Anthony Bowen's I wouldn't say that he's bad, but I feel like Takeshita had one of his crappier matches in a while with this guy, and I know Takeshita, it's not his fault. Bowens and Caster are floundering. At least Caster has something going on with the chant, but I mean, it's like there was one point when like they were the most over tag team on the show, hands down. They were one of the most over acts on the show, and there were still years and years and years left of stuff you could do with these guys, and instead, this is what you got.
Yep. Not great. Well, speaking of not great, and we have another money multi-person match. We're getting the 2-in-1. I don't know what's going on here exactly. 10-woman tag, Megan Bayne and the Triangle of Madness that consists of old Tekla, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue defeating Chris Statlander, Harley Cameron, Jamie Hayter, Tay Mello, and Anna Jay. And we had old Timeless Tony Storm on commentary. The match wasn't terrible. It was just 10 people is too much going on. It's these goofy money and multi-person matches and just need to stop. And then 2 episodes in a row they're shoehorning the stuff in on 2 matches. At least I guess at least it's just 1 match per episode instead of there being a money match and a multi-person match. I don't know.
Here's the deal here. People are going to tell you that all the stories, everybody involved there's multiple stories involved in this match. Well, the problem is that's not good storytelling. It's lazy, and there's a lot better ways that you can present your talent and highlight just them, because you're not going to get over in these multi-person matches. That's impossible. That will never happen. It won't. Like, you can quote me on that. It's not real. You can have people have exciting matches, but the way to highlight talent is to do it kind of individually or as a tag team. You might even be able to do a trios, but this isn't it, and it would be way better to have them in their own programs, having their own matches.
Penelope Ford was in there too. We forgot about her. Sorry, Penelope.
Why wouldn't you? What's she done on the show besides hang out with Megan Bayne?
I don't know.
Why would you?
I don't know. She's married to the English dude that.
Oh, Kip.
Yeah.
Who I don't think so bad. They just have him
Nope.
being some weird metrosexual guy off in the corner.
Yeah. They got him teamed up with the hot MILF lady.
You remember the whole metrosexual thing, by the way?
Yeah, like the early 2000s where they called you metrosexual if you did things like trim your eyebrows or like, wash your face regularly.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. You remember that South Park episode on it? Like all the dads became metrosexuals, and that was some good stuff.
I haven't thought about that in a long time. That's hilarious.
I might watch it later.
But, yeah.
Roll on.
Bad idea. Well, speaking of dudes that we were just talking about, we got the Max Caster Open Challenge where Big Bill defeated Max Caster. We're not going to repeat the same stuff that we just said during Anthony Bowen's. It applies to Max Caster here too. It just is what it is.
Let's move on. Not much to talk about.
Yep. We got old FTR, my favorite and yours, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler defeating Dynamite Kid, Tommy Billington, and Adam Priest. Why do they keep wrestling these guys? I feel like we just talked about them wrestling these guys and beating them. What is going on here?
You tell me.
I don't know. Am I hallucinating?
No.
Did they not just wrestle these guys?
I'm pretty sure they did, but good luck trying to find that. But yeah, it's not a lot to say here. FTR is great, but be cool to see him maybe doing something besides this.
Yeah, they literally last I just went back to the last Collision episode. They just wrestled them on the last Collision.
Oh man, I guess that.
What in the hell?
It was so nice they did it twice, right?
I guess I don't know, or it was so forgetful the first time that they ran it back because
Yeah,
they figured no one would notice.
They didn't remember.
We're the only ones that noticed.
Where'd I get that idea from? Oh, we just did it last week.
Nobody will remember. Nobody watches this show. It's like 230,000 people.
Yep.
Well, speaking of things that nobody will remember, we had the AEW Unified Championship match. Okada versus Michael Oku. I don't know who this guy is.
Me either.
I think I'm supposed to, but I don't. And, this is kind of a forgetful match. The belts kind of mean nothing on this television program.
Well, especially anything Okada's been involved with, He's been in all these positions and beaten all these guys, and he's had that one championship that they transitioned and, like, merged into the other ones, and he hasn't done anything with it. I don't feel like anyone's been, like, maybe when somebody eventually beats him, like Takeshita, they'll get the rub, but, I mean, if the rub means wrestling with a guy who moves, like, a mile an hour, maybe like half a mile. Like he's phoning it in these days. He could put in way better matches, but maybe his body's beat up. But his matches haven't been it. The programs haven't been it. The Don Callis family and him, it doesn't seem like a good mix because Don Callis is so spread, helping all these guys that the package doesn't settle. How like when like Heenan and Andre, or like Hart and Hogan, it just it's one guy, Brock, Paul. You see what I'm getting at. But this isn't it. I don't know who Michael Oku is. I'm not Googling it. I don't care. And explain it to me. Do a package. Do a little 3-minute, 2-minute package. Show some of the matches. If you can, at least show some pictures of like where he's been and what he's done. Hype it up. It's really easy to do.
I do love what you said there. I'm not Googling it. I don't care. Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
I agree. Speaking of things that we don't care about, we got the main event. Jon Moxley and Daniel Garcia, who apparently is in the Death Riders now, defeating the Paragon, consisting of Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. I mean, I guess when I said I didn't want to see Jon Moxley and Daniel Garcia wrestle each other every week, I didn't mean that I wanted to see them team up to then wrestle other people.
Yeah, it's just like Daniel Garcia, he comes out and he literally looks like he just woke up. He's wearing what seems to be what someone would wear as pajamas, or where they would go to play basketball in the 80s or something. It's like some weird cut up, what's the stuff, like sweatshirt and sweatpants. And it's like, come out here looking like a star, man, because you look like crap. You literally look like you're shopping at Walmart at 10 p.m. When you just woke up and you're buying it with food stamps or something. Like, it's not working out. Moxley stinks. Like, just leave, disappear for a while. How can I miss you if you won't go away for a bit? Like, it's just been proven time and time again. Unless you can replicate Jon Moxley working with somebody and holding the belt hostage for almost a year and everybody just wanting him to go away, it's not going to work.
No. It's goofy. And get both of these guys off of TV.
Yeah.
At least they have them on the show that nobody watches, as opposed to the show that some people watch.
Garcia should be the job guy. He should be the guy fucking losing to everybody on the show.
Right. Well, maybe that's why they have him in the Death Riders now. He can be their bump guy, like how D'Lo Brown was for the Nation of Domination. Fucking.
That won't be it. Sorry. You know what's going to happen here? Him and Wheeler Yuta are going to have tensions because they're both on the low end of the totem pole, and he's going to. Well, watch, he's going to try to, like, step up and be above him in it now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and then it's going to lead to old Wheeler getting kicked out, and then he's going to team back up with whatever dorks he used to be with before. Yep. That's probably what'll happen. Terrible. Well, anyway, speaking of terrible, we're going to move on to high point, low point, and would you believe that I don't really have a high point this week? I mean, just... the whole show kind of sucked.
Yeah.
I guess, twist my arm, gun to my head, the 10-woman tag match, because it was 9 out of 10 women in the match that I would, that are, very nice gals, we'll say.
Oh, yeah. They're donating to charity. They're doing stuff in their community. I know what you mean. They're nice. But
yeah,
I just put the MJF stuff because there wasn't anything else on the show, and this is a terrible episode of television wrestling.
Yeah. Well, my low point was just having to watch the episode in general. Kind of the whole time I was looking forward to it being over.
Mine was Okada versus Oku. I'm not gonna go over it too much, but just if I'm watching a show and I don't know who the guy is, I don't care. It's that simple. And if he's going to be on your show, do a little package.
Yep. Well, move on to the show rankings here. I gave it a 2, but looking back on it, that might have been fairly generous. How'd you feel there, TJ?
I gave it a 1. And I I don't like doing that. It sounds like we're crybabies talking about this show. It sounds like we're being exaggerating a little bit, but this show sucks. Nothing good's
Yeah, I mean,
happening.
we just shit on SmackDown, so I
Yeah,
mean,
I know, but nothing. There's nothing to look forward to. At least with the WWE, there's a couple matches that are happening down the line that, like, okay, I can get excited about this. What do I have to get excited about in this company? Max Caster and Bowens getting together again, maybe. Maybe Kenny Omega showing up for 3 months out of the year. Daniel Bryan's not coming back.
nope.
It's not going to be John Moxley. Um, I and what is it?
Jericho's probably gone.
Yeah, what's MJF going to do in the company, man? Who's he going to work with?
Hangman again. I mean, I
That
no
seem-
idea at this point.
He's got that
Edge,
contract.
Christian.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more Edge and Christian. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, them and FTR is going to be the highlight of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it definitely will. They're gonna tear the house up, and they're buddies. They've been training with each other for a long time. They live
Over a decade now.
they live 2 hours up the road from me. I've been to Asheville multiple times, and I know that they definitely have a ring between the 4 of their houses.
Yeah.
They got a ring somewhere.
They probably have a warehouse or something.
Yeah,
Because I remember they trained with Edge in secret for his return and all that stuff.
yeah, that's definitely true.
Hell yeah. Well, that
It's
was
that
it.
time.
Show sucked. Both shows sucked. Get better at making wrestling television programs so that we can have better stuff to talk about other than saying that your shows suck.
Yeah.
And we're going to move on. We got the news.
Oh boy.
And I got news for you.
Oh, do you do? What news is
Sure
that?
does. Well, Andrade is gone from the WWE. What happened? TJ, strap in. The Andrade story just went from quiet exit to a full-blown mess. Reports say this was WWE's call, not mutual, not budget related. He had not been on TV for nearly a month. In the locker room heard on Saturday, he's gone. A report says that there was a disciplinary issue, an incident a couple weeks ago. He was sent home, never made it back to TV.
Yeah, it's kind of like career self-sabotage, You did it in a speed run form, though. You get sent home for a disciplinary issue. You stop showing up on TV. Trust is toast. Stack that with reporting that he went to South America and went silent on The Office. They were calling him. He didn't answer for 3 weeks. And at least he had one wellness policy violation during this run, which is, he failed some kind of steroid or maybe recreational drug.
Not weed. They're allowed to do that now.
That is correct, but he failed something there. And it's kind of like 3 alarms going off on once on the guy. It's just not good.
Important note, this has nothing to do with his past marriage to Charlotte Flair. This is reliability. Show up, answer your phone, follow the policy, deliver. He had the tools. Royal Rumble return, title run on speed. It's largely forgettable, but you cannot no-show your way into a push. Fans watched him slide down the roster page to alumni. That told the story.
Yeah, so what now? AEW is a question mark. Even though he left on what he hoped were good terms, there were notes about how he wasn't easy to work with there either. Mexico's a real lane. Japan's kind of like a clean reset for him. And strong indies are waiting for him. The formula's simple. Be visible, be professional, test clean, and stack great matches until the phone rings.
What a goof.
Yeah, I agree. But, it was WWE calls. It wasn't mutual. And he hasn't been on TV for nearly a month. And a report says that a disciplinary incident a couple weeks ago, as well as the wellness thing, led to him being sent home. Nobody's really said what the disciplinary issue is. Like, apparently, I think he might have got physical with somebody.
I mean, that's standard for him. Didn't that happen at AEW too?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. It's kind of wild, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would think after getting in trouble for it the first time, you'd kind of reel that in. And this is not the locker rooms of the 80s and 90s. You can't do that kind of stuff anymore.
Nah, and then everybody's just assuming that he's going to go to AEW. I don't think so. I think Tony's kind of done with trying to get guys that have fucked him over. So,
We'll see him in TNA.
Yeah, I think that's a definite good future for
Well,
him.
actually, maybe not, because they're doing that
WWE?
co-op thing with WWE. So if they're like, yo, hey, don't do that,
It's kind of
then they
funny,
won't.
but like his little timeline here, AEW exit 2023. He returned at the Rumble in January 2024. He won the Speed title, which is essentially meaningless, in mid 2024, and then he just started cooling off, and then all these issues happened. It sucks
Well,
because
they had him tag teaming with Ray Phoenix, and
that
they
is true.
they were going to push them to the moon, and he really, whatever he did, really messed that up.
Because they're really trying to get the Latino market, and if that was going to be their big tag team, I think that they were going to push for Latin Americans or whatever. So he blew it.
Goofs. Yep.
Maybe he's going through some stuff. That's the only thing I can think. And if he is, I hope he figures his stuff out, because from everything that I've heard, he's apparently a really cool guy.
Great wrestler. He's needs to be put in more of a position to succeed, but he also needs to put himself in decision-making positions to succeed.
Absolutely. But I think we can move on from that one. And then we're going to jump into our next one here, and that's Triple H's new fitness council gig. Is it real work, or is it a White House photo op? So Triple H goes to the White House, shakes some hands, smiles for the cameras, and then boom, he's on the President's Council on Sports, Fitness and Nutrition. Sorry, I'm saying that weird, but so I guess we love that for him. He's involved in the government now. So nothing says improving national health like a 2-minute photo op and a commemorative label pen.
Right? This is the government version of a celebrity cameo. You get announced to a fancy council. You do one panel, maybe a school gym pep talk. Then you're back to the gorilla position before the commercial break.
Yeah, he said all the right stuff. I'm not going to crap on him about that. He said that kids need to be active, that phones are frying attention spans, nutrition matters. There's no lies detected there. I'm just wondering,
Nope.
how much time the WWE chief creative officer has for rebuilding America's core strength between TVs, PLEs, and rewriting main events when somebody gets injured at 4 p.m. on a snow day. Not a snow day, a show day. It could be snowing too.
Maybe it is a snow day, yeah.
Maybe.
Council titles always sound powerful. The reality is usually advisory, ceremonial, and unpaid. You do a meeting, pose with a football, sign a poster. Meanwhile, the real policy is happening 10 floors up with people you will never see on ESPN.
And the optics, my guy, the optics, Triple H, he's doing the White House tour. That went viral because, of course, it did.
Yeah.
It's a great brand play for WWE, for their administration, for everybody involved. Do I think he's rolling out nationwide PE standards next quarters? No.
If they want actual impact, show us deliverables, pilot programs in schools, grants for equipment, measurable fitness benchmarks, timelines that survive an election cycle. Otherwise, it's just the presidential fitness test speed run. We applaud, we forget, and we move on.
I will believe that the grind is real when I see that calendar. And if by spring he's leading 3 regional school initiatives, visiting campuses, and publishing a progress report that is not just a glossy PDF, I'll eat my words on air with push-ups, 10 of them.
I don't know. You might want to walk that one back. Wait, anyway, 10. We're aiming high. Look,
10.
We will happily cheer if it helps kids. We're just allergic to fluff pieces. If this becomes more than photo ops and hashtags, awesome. Until then, this feels like a cameo credit, not a full-time role.
Translation, great entrance, but the jury is out on that work rate. The bell hasn't even rung yet.
What's the move set?
I don't know. He's just going to pedigree everything. He's not even going to set anything up. But yeah, the official website actually lists him as the vice chair of the council. It was reactivated by executive order July 31st, 2025, which also reestablished the presidential fitness test. By design, this is a federal advisory committee under the HHS, and it advises, promotes, and it doesn't write binding rules. So it's not like they're making laws or anything. And, that's typical cadence from a federal database. The council meets about once a year, often in May and September. So that tells you how involved he may really be in actually doing anything. The members serve without compensation, but it can be reimbursed for travel, and the terms are 2 years. So he'll be there 2 years. So halfway through the presidency thing this term, he'll it'll happen again. And so it's not just him. They announced a whole bunch of people. They got like Roger Goodell in there, Wayne Gretzky, Jack Nicklaus,
cool.
Tony Romo. They got way more than that, but those are the ones that I knew. And on McAfee, Triple H emphasized that getting kids active, less screen time, and building pride by progressing from 1 push-up to 10. That's kind of like the quotes on this, which makes sense. It's kind of what we just repeated. But good for him, I guess. It definitely doesn't hurt. I mean, you can put that on your your resume, right? If you're going for a job.
Yeah. Right? His LinkedIn's going to look insane.
Yeah. I just thought that was funny, though. We had to call that out. Anybody that thinks Triple H is doing anything other than showing up, shaking hands, and saying, "Yeah," you might be mistaken.
Well, hopefully, some kids get helped with this. That nobody's going to be upset about that.
Absolutely.
Unless there's weirdos out there that don't want kids to be better, and in that case,
there's
you be
weirdos
better,
out
sir
there.
or ma'am. Yeah. Quit being weirdos.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll do a non-wrestling show about how people are getting to be such weirdos out there.
That'd be funny.
But
the OverMark Weird
anyhow.
Cast.
Yeah. The weird episode, and we'll dress weird,
brother.
do weird stuff.
Pot called
Anyway,
kettle black.
That's right. We got Rey Mysterio close to a WWE in-ring return. A quick update on Rey. He's in the final stages of rehab from that torn groin we talked about back at WrestleMania time, and he's expected at the Performance Center next week for the last steps toward medical clearance, and he's not cleared yet, but we're getting close.
So he's been on the shelf for 5 months, which is pretty rough, and he got hurt at WrestleMania 41 weekend, if you remember. That was in April.
Yeah.
Was he supposed to go against Phoenix? I forget exactly who it was.
He was supposed to go against El Grande Americano, and they replaced him with Rey Phoenix.
That's right. So, SmackDown's missed this guy. He's kind of like a locker room leader, too. When he went out, he was in the middle of that personal feud with Santos Escobar and Legado. That's right. So if he gets caught, or if he gets the green light, they can either pick that up or spin him into something fresh.
The timing could be spicy. Dom just added the AAA Mega Championship on top of the Intercontinental title. If Dad walks back in soon, the family drama kind of writes itself.
So, yeah, like we said, he got hurt WrestleMania weekend, and he's been out for 5 months. They have a couple options, but since Dom just had that thing and he went and he had to crown Dom, I feel like they're going to have him work with him in some way. So we'll see how that goes. But they say his rehab took longer than expected, which, I mean, he's getting older. It's going to.
Yeah.
He's got the best merch deal in WWE history, I'm pretty sure, with the percentages.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
It's
that mask.
When we were kids watching Nitro back in the day with all of the luchadors and everything, we all knew Rey was special, right? I don't think many people will dispute that. But did you ever think, like, watching him, I know, as like a 13-year-old kid or however old I was watching him, that someday he was going to be considered the greatest luchador of all time? Like, here we are.
No, I definitely didn't, but it's not out of the realm to say that he doesn't deserve it. He's been around forever, and he can still do it pretty good for his age, and I'm glad he's going to be back, because there's multiple guys on the show that could work with him and have good programs. So I'm not sure what they'll be doing. I'm sure he'll be in AAA a lot, but should be good nonetheless.
I'm struggling to think of, other than him, Adam Copeland, and Christian. Well, I guess the Hardys.
Chris Jericho.
They're not a whole lot of. I mean, some of those guys are still hanging in there, but I mean, they're on their way out.
Bully Ray gets in the ring sometimes. Not often.
Well, yeah, they're going to be wrestling the Hardys in October. We're definitely watching that. We'll
sure.
Review that.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a live.
I'm not promising we'll watch the whole. What's up?
Maybe we'll do a live watch along, just like for that match.
That would be cool. Yeah, I'm not saying that we would watch the whole pay-per-view.
Not at all.
Definitely was going to watch that match. It depends on who else is on the card. Maybe I might watch some other matches. TNA wrestling isn't bad. It's just there's so much other stuff for us to watch during the week. It kind of.
Yep. pick and choose.
You gotta draw the line somewhere.
That's true. And I think we may draw a line in this segment here. And we're going to jump to the next one here. And that's about Charlotte Flair wanting a family. And, we're cheering for her. Why wouldn't we, right? So,
Before we get into this real quick, about the same age as me, think maybe she'd want to start a family with old Dave.
yeah, probably. Just hit her up. I don't think she's had the best of luck in her relationships. Regardless, I'm sure that's both people's fault because, marriages are definitely pretty tough. And I couldn't imagine being on the road and going through all the difficulties that they might have in a relationship that normal people may not have. But
Right.
But anyways, yeah, so she's saying that she wants to be a mom one day, and like I said, we're all for it. The Queen has recently raised about 900 title belts, and I think, she might be able to handle that diaper bag.
Yeah, call me Charlotte. Anyway, facts. She was smart about it and said that wrestling's in her blood, but when it's time for kids, she'll step away and then maybe come back for the right moments. Trish Stratus blueprint. Copy that.
This is a real balancing act, right? You got the career and motherhood. Your body has a timer, your career has a timer, and neither one pauses because you're a legend. The pressure's pretty real with that.
And the internet will try to coach her life from the couch. Here's our takes. Simple. Do what makes you happy. If that's a baby and then a comeback, awesome. If it's a baby in retirement on your terms, also awesome. Either way, she doesn't owe anybody any perfect timeline.
Plus the locker room already has proof that you can navigate this. Moms of sports come back sharper, more focused, and with the whole new, why they're doing what they're doing. The crowd pops even harder when it's on your terms.
Yeah. So salute, Charlotte. Build your life, pick your moments, and write your ending.
Yeah,
And call me.
definitely. But she basically said this in an interview the other day. I don't have who it's with here. I apologize, but she was basically saying she's keeping the door open. Which would make sense. Why wouldn't she? She noted that she might step away at some point to have it and then consider coming back for the right opportunities. So at that point, I guess she's saying she might not even have a full-time schedule. But, the bottom line, it's a personal decision, not a public deadline. And it's just, it's just complicated because it's like your athletic prime and having a baby, it's all in the same period. And for a little bit, you have to choose one or the other. It just happened to Naomi.
Yep, sure did.
Yep.
Well, not a whole lot that anybody could do about it. Just
Absolutely.
do what makes you happy. Hell with everybody else.
Why don't you talk about something that makes you happy?
Speaking of the hell with people, Meltzer fumbles again. TNA MLP ban? That was never real. He's a dumbass. That TNA ban rumor was a Meltzer special. Anthem shut it down. Scott D'Amore shut it down. End of story.
Classic Meltzer playbook, right? Float a dramatic claim, hide behind a paywall, hedge with hearing and seems, and then he'll walk it back when the actual adults in the room speak. It is not journalism. It's guessing with the tip jar.
And notice how the goalposts move every time. First, it's a hardline ban. Then it becomes a misunderstanding. Then it morphs into perception, zero accountability, and maximum hand waving.
He is the human shrug emoji of wrestling media. There's a loud rumor today and a quiet correction tomorrow. If you called a move like that in the ring, you would get booed out of the building.
Meanwhile, the people involved straight up said it's false. Talent can do and work for those shows. That is the reality, not a fantasy booking newsletter version.
We keep receipts, and this is what happens when you do some clout chasing, and it becomes a business model for you. Fans deserve better than a weekly cycle of scare headlines, anonymous sources, and a Monday morning rewrite.
So the claim said that TNA barred its wrestlers from working with Maple Leaf shows because of AEW. Anthem called the story untrue. Scott D'Amore publicly refuted the rumor and said talent can and have worked for MLP. The promotion is MLP, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, not Maple Leaf Wrestling, which some posts have repeated. And I don't know, we're clarifying it there for y'all.
Yeah, it's funny, man. This guy, it's like every week, multiple times a week, and he's pretty good at it. It's like taking a story and you just kind of guess with knowledge and experience, which he's been doing this for a while, and something that's likely to happen. But the thing is, plans could change, maybe. I heard, oh, my source got it wrong. And it's like,
Yeah.
Classic, like we said at the beginning. And we can sign off this real quick, but anybody that pays this goof money to read his bullshit should highly reevaluate what you think your money's worth.
Yep. Probably better spent elsewhere. And we're not saying give it to us. We don't get paid for this. We don't even make money off of this, but give it to somewhere more deserving of your hard-earned dollars.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy a T-shirt of your favorite wrestler instead of giving that money to him every month or something.
Well, I think he's up to $15 a month now. So, I mean, you could actually get something like half of the ESPN deal a month. Get rid of this guy, and there's half your money saved already.
Yeah, that's true.
It is. Well, something else that's true is Bo Dallas here, and he's promising some more Wyatt Sicks. But there's only one problem. We both kind of just want less of it. So Bo Dallas is out here teasing that a lot is coming for the Wyatt Sicks. Stories, character development, deep lore, and all that. I respect honoring Bray, but on TV, this is rough. It feels like we're watching some kind of deleted scenes from a horror pitch meeting, not a wrestling show.
Yeah, it is wrestling by the way of a haunted house. Flicker the lights, whisper a riddle, stare at the camera for 20 seconds, then vanish. Cool in a trailer, terrible in a live segment, and the payoff is never the payoff. It's just more hints about a payoff.
Bray had moments. His entrance was special. Some promos hit. But most of the spooky puzzle box stuff, it just wasn't good. And this is kind of like a diet version with some QR codes. The acting's stiff, the matches are cold, and the vibe is just trust us, the story is coming. While the show grinds to a halt, and the trust us part has been for over a year now.
Yeah. Who is this for? Kids do not, they don't care about ARGs. Casuals are changing the channel, and hardcore fans want good matches with clear stakes. Instead, we get 5 minutes of humming in a deer mask.
Every person in this group is talented to some extent, but nobody looks like they're thriving. Nikki's stuck whispering. She hasn't thrived in anything she's done. Rowan stands around. Gacy and Loomis have belts, yet zero heat or zero anything. And Uncle Howdy cuts promos that say nothing. It's some of the worst stuff on TV right now, and that's saying something.
It's a lot of I can't talk. I don't know. If a lot is coming means more mood lighting and more dumps, hard pass. Put these wrestlers in actual programs with actual goals. Less miss, more fists.
Yeah, the moral of the story here is not every tribute makes good television. We hope this goes away soon. We know it's not. Or at least it gets stripped down to something watchable, which isn't going to happen. But Bo Dallas' Uncle Howdy said in an interview that a lot more is coming in the future. They debuted June 17, 2024, so it's been over a year. And we talked about who the guys were earlier. And they're partnering with Universal for WWE Presents The Horrors of the Wyatt Sicks at Halloween Horror Nights in 2025 in Orlando and Hollywood. You can go, Dave, and you can enjoy this shit that I'm sure is going to be garbage. I'm going to be quick about this because I don't want to go on and you can say what you got to say about this, but garbage matches, garbage promos, it's not going anywhere. Nobody gets over from this shit. It's the exact same stuff that Bray Wyatt did, and you would think in the end that Triple H and the people that were involved would realize, hey, this didn't go anywhere with the previous guy doing it. Why would a less talented version of it with a whole bunch of hangarounds be any better?
Couldn't have said it any better myself, and I don't want to give these goofs any more of our showtime than we have to, so we're moving on.
Let's do it.
We got the Royal Rumble 2026, big show, bigger booze. So the WWE just stamped the ticket. The Royal Rumble 2026 is headed to Riyadh. Massive money, massive stage, fireworks that could be seen from the moon, and a card stacked like a Vegas buffet. No one's pretending this will be small.
It's going to be huge, all right. But every time they bring it up on TV in the build, are we going to be getting the choir of boos again? Or are fans just going to shrug it off and they just start checking their phones?
That's the question. Modern crowds are not the snarling wolves they used to be when they hated something, but Saudi Arabia has become an easy heel in the story, and the second the graphic hits, you can feel the arenas tighten up.
It is pretty wild, isn't it? WWE keeps leveling up the spectacle, and a bunch of the fans keep asking who this show's really for. If you want pyro, stadium scale, and global headlines, you're eating right now watching the show. But if you want moral clarity, well, that's not on the menu. It's never been on the menu.
No, never. I also wonder how the weekly TV hype plays. Do they lean into and brag about the first Rumble outside of North America, or do they tiptoe and just repeat the date while praying the crowd behaves?
At this point, I guess just I vote for leaning in. If you're going to do it loudly and make it feel like The Rock or something like that, where he's the in-level boss. Because the second that you act sheepish, fans smell blood and start chanting anyways.
Yeah. Bottom line, the show will deliver in ring and in scale. The discourse will be loud, and every mention of Riyadh on the road to the Rumble will be a live focus group on where the fan base is right now.
Yep. It's going to be Saturday, January 31st, 2026. It's going to be in Riyadh, like we said, and this is the first time that the Rumble is going to be held outside of North America. Part of the ongoing WWE partnership with the Saudis has already hosted events like the Greatest Royal Rumble, Crown Jewel, Night of Champions, but this is like the first legit one. They're getting the real deal. This comes during the broader Riyadh season push, with WWE heavily featured on the Kingdom's major events calendar. It's kind of separate but related context that fans are going to cite during the build. WWE has also announced WrestleMania 43, and it's slated for Saudi Arabia in 2027, which will also be the first WrestleMania that's not going to be on North American soil. So it's we don't have to hit on it too hard, but there's no way they're not going to get booed out of the house for this.
It's yeah. There's no positive way to spin it. I'm sure that there's going to be probably heavy booing all the way until they're actually at the show, and then the people that are in Riyadh are there, and then those people will be stoked for it.
You didn't watch the Canelo Crawford fight over the weekend, did you? On Netflix?
No.
So he was there.
The only thing I saw from that was they had Adam Jones and Danny Carey from Tool there playing some music. That was cool. I saw the highlight of that.
So the guy that's like doing a lot of this, and that's the front man and that's paying for a lot of this, is Al Turkey Sheik. And he was there at the boxing event, and every time he was on that screen, man, or doing anywhere, they would boo him. So I don't see this going any different. But what can you say? Maybe it will, and maybe those fans, they aren't as rowdy as they used to be. So there's a world where they could just eat this after a couple events.
Yeah, I think that's funny. Everybody's booing him. They're letting him know where he is.
Yeah,
he's probably like, in my country, I'd have you all killed.
Oh yeah,
they're all booing the shit out of him. They're like, yeah, in this country, you're lucky if you make it to the parking lot if we let you.
I probably shouldn't say this, but he's going to be sitting.
Don't say that.
He's going to be sitting here in this arena, and he's going to see somebody booing him. They're going to be close to him, and he's going to see them in his country one day, and he's going to be, that is that motherfucker that I saw booing me, and we are going to give him donuts, as a nice way of saying it, right?
Yep. They're definitely not going to huck him off a roof or anything.
No, never. It's going to be donuts. And if they did throw him off the roof, It would be into a pile of donuts, because they're super nice over there, and they have never done anything inappropriate with anyone's lives.
That's true.
Well,
and we're big in India.
That's true. Well, we're going to talk about something here, and this was going to be a This Day in Wrestling, but we just had some stuff happen, so we pushed the podcast back a little bit, and we're going to talk about this anyways. So this happened on September 15th in 95, I believe. So, it was a couple days ago, but we're going to talk about it today.
And that was yesterday. Yeah, we got it,
Yeah, close enough. But we're kind of calling this WCW's dumbest delivery, the FedEx that made Stone Cold. So on this day in 95, which was yesterday, WCW fired Steve Austin by FedEx. Not a meeting, not a phone call, a package on his doorstep. Imagine opening up your mail and then finding out that your push got future endeavored by overnight shipping.
Incredible strategy. You save the cost of a handshake, and then you accidentally ship the Attitude Era to your competition with priority tracking. This is not a cut. This is a career slingshot.
The logic at the time is he was hurt. He had a tricep injury, I believe. He's not the guy, and we need our next toy. Then Austin hits ECW. Paul Heyman gives him a mic and says talk, and in 2 weeks, Austin found a voice sharper than barbed wire. Those promos were the preheat before the main course. They were awesome. I still watch those promos here and there.
Fantastic stuff to go back and watch. Everybody should after they listen to our show here.
Yeah.
WCW said, "We do not see a top guy." Austin said, "Watch this." He parried Hogan, torched Bischoff, and figured out the cadence, the stare, the venom. That is where Stone Cold got forged in a tiny bingo hall with a live mic and no leash.
Well, then after that, because, at the time, ECW was kind of a feeder league for WWE or WWF. Vince was funding this. So he signs with WWF after a while of doing this, the talking on the mic and then getting healthy. And they stick the ringmaster gimmick on him, a belt, which is $1 million belt, right? And then a mouthpiece, which is Ted DiBiase. And a name that kind of sounds like a circus ticket. He takes the assignment, cashes the checks, and he keeps building the character. You can dress him as a technician, but the fuse is already lit.
King of the Ring happens. He drops the Austin 316. And the glass never stops shattering. It became the most profitable receipt in wrestling history. WCW mailed determination. Austin mailed back a cultural movement.
The best part is how ordinary the moment looked, right? A FedEx guy on a Tuesday, an athlete rehabbing an injury, and a decision that felt small in the room. But, that's how errors flip, right? In boring rooms with bad judgment.
Yeah. Talent evaluation is hard, but this is not subtle. Austin could talk, he could work, he had the presence, and he had that chip on his shoulder that you can't teach. WCW misread the upside, and WWF bet on it.
People forget how close it was to going the other way. If WCW keeps him, maybe he gets a nice mid-card run, but he's not going to get Austin 316 there, especially with, I remember, them talking about Rick kind of keeping him down a little bit while he was there, too.
Yeah.
But if Vince never pivots off the ringmaster, maybe no black trunks and boots, no glass breaking, no beer bath. One envelope changed the channel guide.
Also a lesson on injuries. You do not cut vision because triceps is torn. You bank on it. You plan the return. You give the mic to a killer and let him talk. WCW bought out a short-term saving and then paid for it with the ratings for years.
Yeah, they did. I love the pettiness of the universe here. Austin gets fired by mail, like we said. Then he becomes a top guy who stomps mud holes in your biggest stars, sells shirts by the truckload, and puts your rival so far ahead that you start counting quarters like loose change.
And if you're making a list of worst talent calls, this fight's for number one. It's right up there with letting Jericho walk, missing on Foley, or thinking Goldberg could be paused like a video game and still be hot later.
So we got another moral of the story here. Hindsight's a bitch. Opportunity comes knocking at you, and you answer. What a funny twist of fate here. And Bischoff did the world a favor because Stone Cold would have never happened without him firing him, right?
True. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, and like we said, this happened September 15th, 95. Eric Bischoff in WCW leadership, which, like we said, I think Ric Flair was a big reason why maybe this happened that way too. And I think he said Dusty as well. Then he kind of got his voice in ECW, and he went signed for WWF, did that ringmaster. Then he came over, did that Austin 316 promo at the King of the Ring with Michael P.S. Hayes, been that shock face, and the rest is history. He's literally one of the main reasons why they ended up winning the Monday Night Wars.
Literally almost a year later.
What?
He did from getting fired, he did the Austin 316.
That's right. Yeah, I see the date here. It's almost a year later. That's hilarious. But
Just wild.
Thanks, Eric. I'm a huge fan of Eric, but man, I don't think he'll own up to, maybe he has. I know for the longest time he's like, oh, it was the right decision, and he wouldn't own up to it or anything.
I've in the past seen him say things along the lines of that it was the right decision. He doesn't regret the decision, especially based on what Steve went on to become. He even said in the video, he's like, I'm not trying to take credit for Stone Cold Steve Austin, but had that not happened, he may not have had the catalyst for that to become that. And so he says that he doesn't regret it because, he wouldn't have become Stone Cold without it. I guess that's unselfish of Eric to say. Who knows if he believes it?
I've heard him say that he doesn't regret pretty much anything. So,
yeah.
Either way, though, Stone Cold defined my childhood. Like, I didn't have my dad around. I had an alcoholic stepfather, and it's funny because Stone Cold drank, but that was like one of my heroes growing up. So thank you, Eric.
100%.
Yep, thank you, Austin. We appreciate the hell out of this situation for occurring, and we just thought we'd bring it up because it's relevant. It's the anniversary of that, and yeah, brother.
Who doesn't love Stone Cold?
I don't know. That's a good question, but I think we're gonna go ahead
Well,
and move
let us know in the comments if you don't like him, and if you don't like him,
Oh, yep, brother. But that being said, we're gonna do a watch along. We've been trying to get maybe one of these in a week or maybe an episode.
why?
Yeah, and that's Hogan saying that Taker hurt him with the tombstone. So we're gonna be queuing it up here, and if you never mind, you're gonna be watching it with us. So we got JBL and Conrad, and they're talking about Hogan claiming that the Undertaker hurt him with the tombstone. We're kind of rolling this, and we're gonna talk about it right afterwards.
Yeah, the myth, the neck brace, the chair, the drama. Set your players. We're going in.
All right. Well, we're going to have a 3, 2, 1.
I don't know how big of a fan or a listener you are, but you're at least familiar with who Bubba the Love Sponge is, right?
Yes. No, he is. Yes.
So he had a recent show. I mean, I guess ever since Hogan's passed or been in poor health, he's been a central part of Bubba's radio show. So since all of that's happened, I saw a clip recently where Bubba said, I think this is the first time this has been told publicly, that Hogan was never hurt by the Undertaker's tombstone at Survivor Series 1991.
I've heard
and
it
we kind of
before.
all knew that.
Oh yeah, no doubt
But,
about it.
but according to Bubba, Hulk just wanted some time off and knew there was only one way to do it. So he had to convince the old man that, A, he was injured. So he went to the hospital and all of that just so he could have some time off, which I thought was maybe crazy like a fox genius, but at the same time, for a young guy like Undertaker, it had to be devastating.
Devastating. I mean, the guy that slammed the giant, you come in and you're the new guy, and all of a sudden you hurt the guy, or he claims that you hurt the guy that he claims you're
And Taker has said that he was
I
mortified.
mean, that is a terrible thing to put on a person, to say that they're unsafe. I mean, that's a career killer. People don't want to work with you. You know, and Hogan, who didn't have any problems working with anybody, all of a sudden makes up. And you could tell by the freaking video,
Yes.
Taker wasn't close to hurting him. It was like when freaking Kane tombstone Linda McMahon. He made sure that woman was perfectly safe. Like when I freaking pushed Mrs. Guerrero down, I made sure that woman was perfectly safe. Taker took care of him, and then all of a sudden he gets labeled with that. I mean, that was. I thought that's a pretty rotten thing to do. And I don't mean to talk about Hogan.
Oh, of course.
That I thought that was uncalled for.
Yeah, I think so.
To do something like that just to get time off. Vader wanted time off. That's when he pretended to blow up his head in Austin that time and underneath the pyro. He just wanted to go home.
My favorite is the Ron Simmons explanation. So you died.
So let me get this right. You died.
Yes.
You died.
Let's talk
And
about
he's like, fuck you guys.
Is that how far we're going?
This is Big Four.
Okay, yeah. That's hilarious, man. Like, I thought it was a pretty rotten thing to do.
Yeah. Nobody that's a stranger to the channel, it's not going to be a surprise when folks know that we love Hogan, but yeah.
Nobody's perfect, and people said that he definitely has done crappy stuff in the past, but that's pretty bad because like Taker ended up becoming like one of the top legends in the business, so this didn't end up hurting him. But there had to be some kind of way where Vince like was reading like, oh man, this is bullshit, because he could read that stuff from a mile away.
Well, yeah, and also Vince is going to be one of the people that can immediately go back and look at the tape and see that he was taken care of.
Yeah, it's funny. Sorry, so like it's the legendary My Neck Brother tour. Yeah, it's like you were saying though, you can watch if you go and watch this, you can see how careful Taker always is. He tucks guys, he protects them literally every time. And then on the video, the chair makes a sound, not the skull, which matters a lot. It was kind of the knees hitting it, not his head. Don't you think so?
I agree.
I've watched that.
I've seen that video probably 100 times at least this week.
Yeah, it's funny. But so here's the deal. Hogan told the world that Taker spiked him, and then years later, even his own circle talked about him wanting the time off. Bubba flat out said it. But, we've heard this before. We didn't need Bubba to talk about this.
Taker spent a little bit of time second guessing himself because the top guy said he got hurt. Then you watch the tape. I think it was like the next show that he found out that Hogan's head is a zip code away from the mat in the chair. That's not a botch. This is a business decision.
Yeah, Survivor Series 91. Flair slides the chair in, Taker wins, and the next week you get the neck brace press tour. Classic playbook. Political savvy? Sure, that's Hogan though. And turns you into a fish story the longer you tell it, which means it stunk.
Yeah, call it what it is. Hogan worked the audience. He worked the locker room too. Meanwhile, Taker never stops being a pro, protects his opponents, protects his aura, and eats the doubt for a couple of days at least.
So we had a lot of morals of the story this episode. We got another one. Legends hit hard, videos hit harder. And if the tape shows daylight, the tombstone did not take your soul, your vacation plans did.
Yeah, that's not a great thing for Hogan to have done no Undertaker there, but whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely true. It's I don't know. Don't need to harp on it too much more. Could you imagine like whoever he was with? I don't think it was Michelle at the time. Honey, I could have broke the Hulkster's neck. Something happened. I think I might need to get a job at 7-Eleven because this whole wrestling thing might not be working out for me.
Right.
Oh man, that's funny. I think that's I think the whole situation to some extent is hilarious. And then you have like Hogan like basically going and getting a doctor's note.
Total goofball.
Yeah, 100%. But I think that being said, we got a talk segment here, and
oh boy,
yeah. So we want to inform people. How do you watch Wrestlepalooza? Because it's not on Peacock anymore, right? So, folks, we got Wrestlepalooza 2025. It's right around the corner, and I know half of you are sitting there wondering, okay, but how the hell do I watch this thing? And don't worry, we got you covered. This is ESPN's very first WWE Premium Live event, and the setup's a little different than the old Peacock days.
Yeah, that's right. Forget $9.99. Those days are dead and buried. Now it's on ESPN side of the fence. Here's the breakdown. The pre-show kicks off at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. The main card starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're still alive after that marathon, there's a post-show right after the main event, all streaming live Saturday, September 20th.
Yeah, and to watch it, U.S. fans are going to need the ESPN app. But here's the kicker. You need ESPN Unlimited, and that's the premium tier. Don't have that? Don't panic, because here's the bundles. There's deals, and some of you already get it without even realizing.
Exactly. If you're on a service like AT&T Uverse, Spectrum, Cox, DirecTV, Hulu, Verizon, Optimum, Sling, Xfinity, or YouTube TV, guess what? Already included in your plan. That means you're not shelling out any extra if you've got those providers.
Yep, absolutely. And here's where the mouse house gets you. They've got that Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Unlimited bundle deal for $29.99 a month. And if you lock in for a year, though, it's only for a year, and I think this runs out in January. So if you don't get this then you might be out on this deal. So that's down from $35.99. So they're practically begging you to sign up before Wrestlepalooza hits. Disney Plus and Hulu even get thrown in for free for the year when you grab the bundle. That's how badly they want your eyeballs on this thing.
Yeah, you get to watch Marvel, Star Wars, The Simpsons, and then boom, Brock Lesnar throwing R-Truth around like a lawn dart. Real synergy right there.
Yeah, for sure. So the bottom line here is you've got some options. ESPN Unlimited on the app if you got the right package, or it's baked into your TV provider. It's included with Netflix outside the U.S. And if you still don't feel up to the $30 a month, well, maybe Netflix and VPN is going to be your friend here.
Well, September 20th, Wrestlepalooza, ESPN's first WWE PLE. Be there live or be the guy reading the results on Twitter 5 minutes later. Either way, you'll enjoy it somehow, I suppose.
Yeah, I think you will. Just remember, no longer on Peacock. You got to get the ESPN Unlimited app, We had all the information up there, so if you didn't catch it, just pause and then read it from there. We got your providers, we got the start time, we got the name of the app, and we even got the bundle up there for if you want to check it out. So we just want to keep you guys informed. You know, we said we were going to talk about this in the last video that we did that talked about the providers. They got over double the amount of providers than they had previously at the beginning. So they're trying to hook people up. They did figure this deal out, which is good on them. So if for some reason you still got those cable packages, you're going to get this for free. So I guess there is positive in that for a lot more people than there was initially, because I think it was only 4, maybe 5 at the beginning, right? Now it's 12.
It wasn't many.
Yeah, but that's good on you. And here's one advantage over doing the VPN. So unless you know how, you can do the VPN through your TV. You can access Netflix like that, but there's some safeguards, and a lot of TVs don't work with the VPN, not through the browser, but directly through the settings on the TV. If you can figure that out, you're going to get the HDR. You're going to get the high quality through the VPN. So that's the way to do it. If you're doing this through a browser, you will not be getting HDR. You're not going to get the Dolby Digital or whatever they call it. So you're just going to be getting the crappy browser version of it. So there are some benefits not using a VPN, and you're probably going to be getting the best version of what you're going to watch with the audio and the resolution and all that on ESPN. So there are some positives. But overall, I know a lot of people don't want to pay $30. But it's funny that a lot of people also, they don't mind paying the $50 a month for AEW. So I know some people feel different about the quality of those pay-per-views, but like we said, we just wanted to be informed. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. And we're happy to help. We know this stuff up and down. So if you need to be sure about a question, check out our Twitter. Send us a tweet, whatever, an X. I don't know what you call it, but hit us up. You know, we'll let you know any questions you might have. Isn't that right, Dave?
That's right. Just don't message us any of your weirdo online conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Or don't insult where we live or insinuate any places where we may be living.
Well, you know, we're going to be getting a lot of hate after this episode, I think. You know, moving on from that news story, we actively crapped on both WWE and AEW this episode, so the comment section is going to most assuredly be telling us we live with our mothers, we're incels, whatever else.
So I don't cut out our review segments, partially because of that reason. Because if we did that, I feel like we'd have a lot more people shitting on our product. I want to find a way. I think it maybe needs to be something that I record or you record solo, and just have us saying like, hey, if you enjoyed this clip, all these segments are clipped out of our podcast. So if you want to check them out early, when the podcast releases, we got timestamps, and you can just go directly to the time on the podcast and watch it without having to wait for the clip to be clipped for you. But obviously say it in a more professional tone. But
yeah. Hey, everybody, if you're looking for our shit here. No, wait.
Yeah. That could work too.
Something like that.
But speaking of our shit, we're going to get our shit on out of here because this episode's done.
Shit.
Yeah. But we're going to have the next episode. We're going to try to get out to you at the normal time. If not, it might be a day late. Either way, we're going to get it to you.
Yeah.
Check out our social medias. We just called them out a little bit at OverMark ENT. We're on it if it exists out there. But yeah, again, we've been having a lot of people check out the videos. We've been having a lot of comments. We've been having some discourse with the fan base out there. So we appreciate you guys from doing that. Like I say, even if you watch a minute of our content, we appreciate you for doing that. If you'd like and subscribe, we'd appreciate that too. But if you don't, you want us to go fuck ourselves, that's, I guess, an option too. You're not required to do anything. We just appreciate it if you did.
How much more betrayal can I take?
Not a lot.
Paulie's not stoked if you guys talk shit to us.
He's a sag.
Bitch.
But anyways, yeah, Paulie's awesome, man. And maybe we'll do a watch through on a Sopranos episode randomly, and people will be like, man, that's an old show. But
probably get our channel banned because of some of the language on there.
Probably.
You get a strike.
Yeah, but anyways, I'm about to sign off. I appreciate you, Dave. I had a lot of fun this episode.
Love, PJ.
Oh yeah, had a lot of fun this episode. I appreciate you. You're the man, and I'm out of here.
Hell yeah. You are too. Much love. We'll see you guys next episode. Everybody, have a good night.
All right.
Day, week, whenever.
Yeah, whenever that may be. We're gonna hit that song.
was just to survive. Our muscles are fake, our takes are loud. We booed a toddler for chanting too proud. So tune in next week, or don't, we'll still shout. Two grown-ass men